What's good, everyone? Welcome to season 2 of Canes on the Daily. If you've been with me through season 1, you know what we do. We talk about the Miami Hurricanes. And since this is the off season, not too much movement going around, but I always got my man 30 grand Donnie with me, to help me go through these episodes. So what's good, Donnie?
Hey, everything is good, man. Much peace and much love, my brother, and congratulations on season 2, my
Uh,
brother.
all right, so you know how we start season 2 off with that hurricane intro.
Let's give it up to the youth. Low to the squad if we win or we lose. It is in our veins that orange and the green running through and through. Cause you know we want it. These squad versus ours, now they don't really want it. Our pedigrees deep with pros in abundance. Get ready for the storm cause the hurricane's coming. Let's give it up to the youth. Low to the squad if we win or we lose. It is in our veins that orange and the green running through and through. Cause you know we want it. These squad versus ours, now they don't really want it. Our pedigrees deep with pros in abundance. Get ready for the storm cause the hurricane's coming.
All right, we back.
Yes, sir.
Man, I'm telling you, it's I guess some part of the season, I guess through spring practice and all of that stuff, it's been kind of moving, but now it had got kind of slow and everything. But give me your assessment, what you think, how everything, how this season with recruiting and everything. We ain't gonna talk about the 2024 recruits yet, but we're gonna just recap the 2023 guys.
Okay, so as far as the 2023 guys and recruiting, what I'm noticing is that, like, through the transfer portal, we are absolutely addressing needs on the recruiting trail. We're absolutely addressing needs. I like where recruiting is going.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I have, even with the misses, because you're not going to get them all. It's going
Yeah.
to be hit or miss. But even with the recruits that we have gained, I am thoroughly impressed. I haven't seen any major strikeouts that we can't address.
Yeah.
And if we have a major miss on the recruiting trail, we can fulfill that on the back end through the transfer portal. But just based on the acquisition of talent, I would have to say, in my honest opinion, I would give that a strong 8.5 because I do see culture change coming. That's all I can
Oh,
say.
I mean, I could get down with that. I do like the progress that we made through the transfer portal. It gave us something that we needed in a long time, more stability, a little bit more strength up front in the trenches on both sides of the ball. So, and I didn't know what Mario was going to do with the coaching staff. So that was really concerning to me after the season. So I was wondering how he was going to replace her. Now that he got the people that he wanted in his place, it's just the thing is going out there and making sure that they execute on a high level. So that's something that I'm looking forward to seeing and everything like that. I still think we could. I know wide receiver has been a little bit issue, and we still trying to get some wide receivers for the next coming year. But my, how do you feel that Tyler Van Dyke will operate this year?
Whew, that's kind of a loaded question. I gotta be 100% honest because I never lie to you, brother.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna give it to you just like this. I have great hopes, but I have mediocre expectations, and I'll break it down real quick.
Okay.
This young man is learning a new offense again.
Hmm.
Uh, if Tyler Van Dyke is even a quarter of what I think he is as far as skill, talent, potential, and IQ,
Hmm.
he will excel. But I think this year is going to be this year. It will be this year, a year where we go through. It's almost like and I hate to digress here, but let's go back to the '99 season where it's going to be game by game, week by week, where you watch us blossom and develop into greatness.
Yeah.
I don't think Tyler can take us to greatness this year just because one, a new system, but I think he can be great and really make us relevant again. But I think it would be best to play the Canes early versus later because
Yeah.
I really feel like this young man will grow in the system and he's going to be a beautiful flower when he comes out of it after the process. But I just think there will be some growing pains and some bumps early, and I'm not going to get discouraged. It's just I just wish he had more time because I really feel like this will be his NFL caliber year, and he's not coming back.
Yeah. I agree with that. My expectation for Tyler, I love some Tyler Van Dyke. I was a little nervous, he was thinking about leaving and all of that stuff, but I wanted him just to give Mario a chance to get the right guys underneath him, and even though last season wasn't great for him, with the injuries and stuff, because we was bad on the offensive line, but. And last year I had like Heisman hopeful for him, but this year I don't. I think if he could get the numbers where he could be at least a top 10 NFL draft guy, then I'll be happy with that. But it's going to be up to him. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, it's going to be up to him to really blossom and get get a hold of this new offense and utilize the weapons around him, because Mario is putting guys in place where he don't have to show the everything. He just got to make the plays. So I think that's my expectation of him. Just do what he needs to do. So speaking of quarterbacks, I did see Jake Garcia is expecting a baby.
Yeah, Jake Garcia.
Yeah, I saw on Twitter that he's expecting a baby.
Well, I didn't see that, but congratulations to the young man. Jake is gonna be one of my all-time favorite quarterbacks just simply because what he went through to play ball during the pandemic era. He
Yeah,
blessed us with his presence. So, look, I have nothing but love and admiration for the young man. Wishing the best in life and the baby. Uh, like I said, I hope the man does his thing at Missouri. I hope he sets that SEC on fire. Uh, like I said, I have nothing but respect and admiration for him. I want to see him do great. Unfortunately, had to move on from the U. But you
yeah,
know how things go. You got to do what's best for you. So that was a perfect example of doing what works best for you. So, like I
Uh,
said, I wish him the best and congratulate him. And I just want to see him do good
yeah.
or
I
do
agree
well,
with
should I say?
I
Do
agree.
well.
When I saw that on there, I was like, man, I say, okay, Jay, because didn't he went down there with Lance with to SMU?
I think he did visit SMU. Yes, I think he visited SMU. I'm not 100% sure. I have to pull it up, but I know he's at Missouri now, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, okay, that's what I know. He went somewhere. I thought he went down there
Yeah,
um Rick Lashley down there at SMU. But nevertheless, man, I'm happy. Happy for him. He's gonna get a shot. Um, he's gonna be playing in the SEC. So hey, it's gonna be a little tough over there. So, but
and you're right. You might want to fact check me on that, but I think at the end of the day, he ended up at Missouri because I kind of stopped following it once I saw he was locked in.
yeah,
I was just waiting for the season.
let me.
Um,
Yeah, I think he might have with Missouri. So I think so. Let me check. Let me check.
Yeah, just fact check me on that. I don't want to put false facts out.
Yeah, yeah, he's at Missouri.
Okay, yeah. So like I said, congratulations to the young man. I hope he set the SEC on fire, man. You know,
Yeah,
I've got nothing but love for him. I actually met his parents. Great couple.
yeah,
Godspeed to them and God bless them. Hey, you know, Jake, once you family, you always family. So hey,
yeah,
nothing
yeah.
love
That's
for you,
true.
young man.
That's true. I do. Another thing that I do want to like. Dang, I wanted to touch on is um, as I'm thinking at the same time. Oh man. Okay, yeah. Um, the what you how do you feel about I know that we got we got a new offensive coordinator and a new defensive coordinator, but how do you feel about Jason Taylor's impact on the defensive line now that he's part of the staff? He was like a advisor last year, but now he's part of the staff.
Well, to that move, I say check and mate. Basically what Mario did, and I think this was a very strategic chess move where he took Jason Taylor from the high school level basically last year, allowed him to acclimate himself to the college game
Hmm.
and realized that this, and no disrespect to this man, but this is a fish, this that's an analogy that can swim in any water. He can swim
Hmm.
upstream, he can swim in the ocean. He caught on real quick, and Mario saw what a vital asset he would be to us as far as defensive line coaching. I mean, if you can get it from a Hall of Famer, who else better to get it from?
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, I think that was a pretty good move with him and everything. So I just think that for the overall look of Miami, I think they're gonna be totally different this year coming up. I think my expectations are like a lot of people not giving us a lot of respect because they say, well, we only won 5 games last year, but now we'll probably win what 6 games this year. And me personally, I'm thinking that I'm thinking that I think I'm giving us like 3 wins. I'm giving us an 8-win season. Because I definitely know that the North Carolina and Clemson game is gonna be a little bit tough, but I do got us revenging that Texas A&M game. So and everything, and I think if they come out the gate and don't repeat, past behavior from last year and the year before, I think they will be fine. I think just like you said, I think they will catch fire late in the season. I think teams ain't gonna want to play us late in the season. I think if you catch us now, catch us early, and that's where I think Miami is going to start benefiting more. And I think now that we got a little bit of depth, I think we get to see a lot of the young guys get to play. You remember the last couple of seasons, we didn't really have no depth to really allow some of the young guys to get on the field. So and it was kind of like we had to play our starters and plug and play here. But now we getting a lot of depth, and that's something that Mario has said after early in spring that he wanted to add more depth to the team, and that's something that this team definitely needs because if you look around the country, everybody's having a whole lot of depth to really plug in, and especially when you blowing teams out, you get guys to come in and see where they at, and then they could eventually help you out later on in the season.
And that's true because if you look at the winning formulas for teams that are winning right now, it's really quite simple. It's an acronym. It's DED.
Hmm.
The first thing that you have to have is depth. Then you have to have execution. And the third thing is discipline. So you want everybody at all three levels to be disciplined. No silly penalties, no jumping off sides, no holding. You have to believe in the system wholeheartedly. It works better if it's 55 guys tugging a rope versus one, and vice versa. But you
Yeah.
have to buy into it totally as a team. buy into the culture, which I have seen a dramatic change just from what I saw briefly in the off-season workouts. But what I will tell you, it looks like Mario has the ship headed in the right direction. And if you don't mind, I want to throw a question at you.
Okay, but
Now, we can go through Hurricanes lore forever and talk about like the great players and what they did, but I want to talk about the culture. Just based off of what you've seen, does this culture look to you like an 8-14, 7-5 team, 6-6 team, or God forbid another 5-17, barring injury? When I throw that 5-7,
honestly, for what I have seen and what I have witnessed so far, I think they in the eight game range. They 8-4. I mean, they might even surprise us to get a 9 win out of the season. Who knows? But I think the attitude for the guys that coming in, even some of the recruits that he was getting, and some of the guys he was getting late in the transfer portal, they attitude, the way they was coming in, what they was talking about, it reminds me of how some of the Miami teams in yesteryear was with that attitude coming in there. Hey, we coming at these teams. We not gonna be how we was before. So I feel the culture shift, with that mentality. How Mario is putting that mentality in these guys, and my thing is, if it translated on the field early on in the season, then it's going to be really dangerous for teams to really like come in and think they can run all over us, because that's the main thing. Once your coaches start changing and players start adapting that attitude of your coach and know what it means to be a Miami Hurricane, then you can set the trail ablaze, and then wins will come like, I don't want to say easy, but they'll come so fluent to guys will start, oh yeah, or we win the games. Now this is how it's supposed to be. Then what will happen when you look at guys that's playing for other teams, trying to get, might not get no playing time, and they looking at a Miami team that's on fire, and they be like, okay, well, maybe I'm a transfer in the offseason or go in the transfer portal, come down to Miami. They building something there. I want to be a part of that. So it's all about setting the precedence with the culture, and then winning on the field, and then make your move year in and year out, because I give Miami another year or two to make the college playoffs, because the college playoffs be at 12, and I think they'll make the playoff within the next 2 years. So right now, the way the culture is set, yeah, I give them 8 wins. I see 8 wins for them. I can't see them going backwards. There's no way I can see Mario doing all of this and this team take a 90-degree angle and get worse from last year. Because if you get worse from last year, then it's something really wrong with the university, period.
and I can agree with that, with everything you said, and everything was on point 100%. And I just think with the changes we made from the AD to the president to the head coach, we will not go backwards. And that's why I threw barring injury in there if that happened. But I do see this being a stronger team, a more grittier team, a more mentally tough team, which that's what it's going to take to win the national championship. Because if you look at Georgia, Alabama, even back in their heyday, USC, those teams were disciplined, no stupid penalties. They executed. Even if it was a play where it was a busted play, they still made something out of nothing. And they were dedicated to believing in each other in the depth chart. Like, hey, if my brother goes down, you stand up, brother. You stand up and take over. And like I said, I agree with it 100%, 100%. And now my next question to you.
All right.
What, and this is a dual question.
All right.
what have you seen? And I'm not gonna go too far
Yeah.
because I know you suffered the same pain that I have because we both love this team. But in the last 10 years, what have been the glaring holes that you have saw? I mean, just like where is a unit on our team, whether it be offense or defense, and I'm asking about both, where it's like we are atrocious at this position, which leads to this, and then we're atrocious at this position, which leads to this. And just to simplify it, on offense, if we can't pick up a 3rd and 1 and we lose yards, and then on the flip side of that coin, if we hold a team to a 4th and 13 and they convert or even score, what was the blaring? I mean, just obvious, just like, oh my God, we suck at this and this on both sides of the ball.
I think one, having the right skill players on the team is one. If you look at the Miami teams from back in the days, even when we was playing like other juggernaut teams, we had skilled players. You know, matter of fact, I'm gonna go back to they were showing the '95 game between Nebraska and Miami, where Nebraska had Lawrence Phillips and Tommy Frazier. Now, back then, Miami was talented, but guess what? The weakest part of that game was Miami's quarterback.
Yeah, Frank Costa. Yep.
Frank Costa was bad. If we had a Gino Toretta or Bernie Kosar or somebody, Nebraska wouldn't have beat us. We had momentum going in that game, and we couldn't do anything on offense, and our defense was getting tired because they started doing things against us. The same thing that I have seen the last couple of years. We have not had great quarterback play for the University of Miami. We have okay, but it wasn't nothing that like, oh, well, we're gonna be able to do this. Skill position wise, we haven't had, like when we used to play EA Sports NCAA to college football, whether it be that hot guy, the hot person on your team, the key guy. We didn't have key guys that stand out that could be that difference maker for the team on offense and defense. It's like we missed so much on offense where we didn't after, if you think about it, after Sonoris lost, Santana brother, all of those guys left, we ain't really had no skilled guys in wide receiver wise. We had a couple. Thank God we got Charleston Rambo for the Poto a couple years ago, but he left. But think about it is, you still got Jacoby George and all of those guys still trying to come into their own. But who is going to step up? Who's going to be that guy that rally Miami on their back? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we got Tyler Van Dyke, but you got to think Mario was there. He didn't really get the chance because De'Aaron King was the quarterback. Now he is kind of like the guy, but he was injured. So we have to have that dog. We have to have that dog mentality for this team. You know what I'm saying? Even on defense, with the Beasts and Vilmas and all the guys that we had back in the Sean Taylors and all of those guys. I want Sean Taylor's brother to transfer to the Miami. Speaking of Sean, so I want him to transfer, and I do want him to get drafted by the Washington Commanders too. That would be I'm gonna tell you, that would be so perfect for me. But we haven't had guys like that. We haven't had that stability of busting teams in a mouth like we used to do. Those star players. And I could beat up on Manny Diaz all day long, but there was no accountability. That's the main thing for the team. I think that's the main thing for the team. There was no accountability. Them guys was out there just playing, just wanted to get to the NFL. They didn't care. Nobody hold each other accountable. They ain't play for each other. And you know, Miami Hurricanes, we always play for each other. We always dig down in the trenches, no matter how bad the team was, or bad or good the team was. They all played for each other, and we didn't have. And then you know, you can look at coaching. How many great coaches we had? What, Randy Shannon? What's the guy from Temple?
Al Golden.
Al Golden. You know, Larry Coker. He was the last, and then everything just went down because Larry Coker really inherited a championship team, but he didn't build on top of that. You know what I'm saying? You kind of started seeing it tail off, and then eventually he left, and then so forth and so forth. So, yeah.
Yeah, and that's an excellent answer, bro. I agree. Like with the elite talent, if you look at it and just like some of the names you mentioned, I remember just listening to Antrell Roll talk. Man, you know, my ankle was busted, but I was not coming off the field because I knew if I came off the field, I would not get back on the field. And that's what we have to get back to where we're so deep on that depth chart that, like, if you're late to practice or a team meeting, your job is in jeopardy. And I think now the culture has changed and it's getting back to that. I'm not coming off the field.
Exactly. Because, I mean, the thing about it is with the Miami Hurricanes, man, it's just that I just feel like I want Mario to, and I think after this season, I think everybody was giving him a hard time, and you know, fans was out there, and yeah, we want change, we expect to win, but at the same time, you got to be realistic where the team was and who was running the team. You can't expect Mario to come in and take a magic wand and say, hey, all right, everything is cleaned up. He didn't even have time to build his staff right. If Mario had his chance to build his staff right, I think right now we would have been a year ahead. But he's kind of like got a year behind because he had to fire everybody. He just hired some people that he thought would have been okay. And the fact of the matter is that Josh Geddes wasn't good. I mean, he was a Big Ten coach, but at the same time, his offense doesn't fit what Miami looking for. So the thing now that Mario has reassessed the team, got rid of some people, allowed players to leave, you know, and then bring in people that he feel that has that high character, that has that and building the team in his image. Now it's up to him to carry out, because people look at it and say, well, he didn't win nothing at Oregon. Yeah, he won at Oregon. He might not win the big games, but he won at Oregon. But guess what? Oregon didn't have the players like Miami had or everybody else. They were small because Oregon had small guys. They wasn't that big. They was made for what the Pac-12 was. If Mario was in the Big Ten or the SEC and now he in the ACC, you built your team in the image of what you dealing with. The Pac-12, yeah, they beat Ohio State. You know what I'm saying? I you know, that's one of the highlights I got. Him. He beat Ohio. He went into Ohio State and beat them. So, but at the same time, you can't knock him because he's building his team in a whole total different way. So, and so that's why I say, like, I think this is going to be more different. It's going to be different than we had. It's going to be different from what we used to seeing.
Yeah, and then I want your take on this as well. What I've noticed, and it even goes back to Al Golden, and I'm going to say it, and the fans can persecute me. I'll go build my own cross. You can nail me to it, but I'm going to say it. Al Golden actually had our offense pumping. If he had got rid of the defensive coordinator, Coach Donafaro, we would have been a team to be reckoned with, and we would be back at the top right now.
Yeah.
So I
I
say this. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no. I was gonna piggyback on that. I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give you too because Al Golden wasn't bad. He
No,
wasn't.
no,
He
no.
wasn't bad. I just think he just didn't get the fair shake, and like you say, if he did the things that he needed to do on defense, we would have been way ahead. We probably would have been way ahead where we are now.
Yeah, and like I said, we had a got a with a coach D. I look, we would have been a whole lot better because like it's no way that many guys should have been drafted, even on that defense. And I'm just like, really? And to be honest with you, another glaring instance of that, and I'm glad that Mario took inventory and checked his ego
Mm-hmm.
because Mario is not an ego guy. Mario is a results guy.
Yeah,
Kevin Steele did not do it for us last year. But look, Tyreek Stevenson, look how high he got drafted. And it's just
exactly.
like Sam Shields, for example, that was there with Coach Golden.
Yeah.
And he
Yep.
went on to the Packers, not to play receiver, but to play cornerback and made Pro Bowls and won Super Bowl rings. So the thing is
Exactly.
like the talent there, we have to develop it. Mario
Mm-hmm.
saw like it's not the rah-rah, it's not the fire the guys up. It's how can you develop these guys? So like
Mm-hmm.
say if my star goes down, what about those second string and third string guys? Are they ready? Oh, yes, coach, they're ready. So I will say this. I really enjoy the fact that Mario took a personal inventory and checked his ego and was like, you know what? Like you said earlier, Gaddis is not our guy.
Mm-hmm.
Steele is not our guy. But I will be keeping a close eye on Kevin Steele's defense this year, just because I'm petty. But anyway, just to
Well,
see what he can do.
Kevin Steele ain't there no more.
No,
It's
he's not. He's not.
yeah.
But he has a job though.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right. Okay, I got what you're saying now. You're gonna look at because he was another team. You're gonna look at how his defense operate with another team. I got you. Did he?
Exactly.
Did he went to Alabama? He went back to Alabama.
He either went to Alabama or Auburn. I'm not sure. You're gonna have to fact check me on that, but it's somewhere in Alabama. But I will be keeping a close eye, sir, because
Yeah.
I don't believe in him. I don't believe in his schemes. And if you look back, how is it possible that our safeties took a step back? How is it possible that our linebackers took a step back?
Yeah.
How is it possible that
He
our
went back to
defensive
Alabama.
linemen took a step back? It's no
Exactly.
way.
It shouldn't have. Yeah. He went back. He went back to Alabama.
So I will be keeping a close eye on the Crimson Tide, and I can't wait for them to run up on an offense that will expose them because
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you this. As far as the offense goes, I'll make a quick point and get off of this. I saw Miami's offense become so stagnant, it was pond water.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
there was no attack, and then when there was an attack, it was like everybody knew the attack was coming.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was like, all right, look, we got to throw the ball downfield. So now the defense knows, like, pressure the quarterback. They got to throw the ball downfield. It was no
Yeah.
respect. You have nobody to take the top off of the offense. You're not going to do anything spectacular because we know on 3rd and 1, you can't even get a first down behind the offensive line.
Exactly.
So you got to throw it. So, but at the same time, I look at it like that. I look at that aspect, and if I stand corrected, Josh Gaddis still hasn't been hired. I don't know. Just the latest I saw, he hasn't been
Yeah.
hired. Uh,
Yeah.
that
I.
offense.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. No. Go ahead, Fish.
Okay, I was just gonna say that offense sucked, and that defense took a step back because, like, one thing, hate him or love him, and again, I will build my cross and nail myself to it because I said what I said. When Al Golden was there, not Al Golden, but Manny Diaz was there, our defense was different. Our defense was on attack. Now,
Yeah.
sometimes did we blitz too much? Of course. Sometimes did we go into man-to-man coverage too much? Of course. But at the same time, we were putting it out there like, hey, we're willing to line up with you man to man and punch you in the mouth. and we
Yeah.
just didn't have that last year.
And we wasn't getting all them deep shots thrown on us like that on Manny Diaz defense either. We probably got run on a lot, but we wasn't giving up a lot of them deep throws like that. And that was crazy because last year was the opposite. We will hold a run a little bit, but then we were getting bombed on all over the field. We was like small schools throw all crazy all over us. Like it was like, and I'm sitting here like, what in the world is going on? So, I mean, but I just think that I ain't gonna lie. I wanted Kevin Steele to be gone so bad last year. I was like, man, fire him now. Don't even wait till the end of the season. Let Eric Reed or somebody take over this defense for the rest of the season. I wanted him because we was getting our head knocked off early in the season. I mean, deep throws, giving up all of this. And I was like, why is this guy is not using his personnel the way it's supposed to be? It's not, and you can't say that the guys wasn't that talented because you got Cam Kitchens back there, you had Corey Flags back there. You know what I'm saying? So you had talented guys. You were just playing them wrong. And you had Tyree Stevens back there. And like I said, Tyree got drafted. Will Mallory got drafted. You know, I wanted Will Mallory to get drafted higher. I still think Will Mallory is one of the best. He was one of the best one of the top 5 tight ends in the draft. I don't care what I don't care what Tom McShay or Mel Kiper Jr. said. They slept on Will Mallory. Will Mallory was a top 5 tight end in that draft.
Well, I'll just tell you this, man. Todd McShay always get things wrong about Miami tight ends. I'm just gonna focus on the tight ends real quick. He was like, Greg Olson is a nice player. He's a great player, but I don't think he should have been drafted that high. And look what Greg Olson did. He said the same thing about Jeremy Shockey. Now he was in love with Kellen Winslow, but Jr. But at the same time, Todd McShay always missed when it comes to us. It's like every time a Miami player get drafted, he always have the worst report. He was wrong about Warren Sapp, and the list goes. Even not Ed Reed, I'm sorry, Ray Lewis. Oh, he's just too small in my opinion. And I was like, Hall of Famer, you missed.
Yeah, I
You
think.
missed, bro.
Yeah, that's why I say I'm really, I really wanted Washington to draft it. I don't know because Washington's my team, and I'm on Miami even team, so I'll be wanting them to transition over because I think they fit what we need on that team. But nevertheless, but we ain't got to worry about Tom McShay no more. He ESPN, let some of their people go.
Yeah, and like I said, to be real with you, I think Will Mallory, he's going to develop into a hybrid tight end. I feel like, in my honest opinion, this guy will be, when it's all said and done, he will be on the same level as George Kittle and Travis Kelce.
Oh yeah.
The same level, just a little bit of development because all the intangibles are there. I mean, the athleticism, the build. We just got to get him better in the blocking game. But his hands are soft. He's got decent speed, but he's got great size. So with decent speed and great size, a lot of people are not going to want to hit him. So the thing is like he's got to develop a little bit.
Yeah, but and just add a little bit of weight. That's about it.
Yeah, and a little bit of weight, but that's things that can happen. It's not like I expect Mallory to come into the league and set the world on fire year 1. But year 3, when my ears are ringing, I'm like, all right, let me check this guy out.
Yeah. So, but dang, it's one question, and it keeps coming in and out of my head, and I still haven't had a chance to dang it. I'll think about it. Watch. It's gonna be before watch the stream over, and I ain't gonna be able to remember it until the stream over. But all right. So now we're gonna shift gears to the 2024 class. Okay. Now, I've been excited about this 2024 class, especially the guy that Jason Taylor worked with. the guy we just got, Marquise. I forgot his name already. Um, dang it.
It's Marquise. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Oh, yeah, Marquise Lightfoot.
yeah. Lightfoot,
So
Mr. Lightfoot.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I heard like a lot of great things about him, really good things about him, and he worked out with Jason Taylor. So now this I felt like the way Miami was getting these 2023. Now we missed on some because we've been competing with Ohio State, and we missed out on, and then we missed out on a wide receiver from that went to Nebraska. I still think Miami still need to target a lot of wide receivers for the next class, so that's what they definitely gonna need that. But I think I I like this 2023 class, but I really think that 24 class gonna be something special. I really think about. I really think they're gonna be really special. What's your analysis on that?
Now, I will not lie to you. Like Mario can always recruit, but what I have to see now, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you my honest opinion. I'm impressed with the names that we got signed on the dotted line, but this year I will be highly scrutinizing our offensive coordinator. I'll be highly scrutinizing the defensive coordinator, the receivers coach, because like if Kevin can't bring it, a lot of those guys are gonna look at us and be like, man, it ain't worth it. But it's certain position coaches that have to step up and stand out. Um, with the receivers that we're bringing in, I love what we brought in. I see the potential, but to keep that talent coming in, those coaches will have to not only step their game up, but they have to stay. Once you
Yeah,
create the pipeline, you cannot leave. I mean, of course you can leave, but once you leave, it's detrimental to the
yeah,
program. And so if they leave Miami and go elsewhere, that's when I have a problem. It's like, so say
yeah.
for example, Miami goes 8-4 this year, and they've got guys up in the top 10 leading different categories: offense, defense, special teams.
Hmm.
Those coaches will be poached because Alabama and Georgia are always looking. Will they chase the bag? Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But wherever they go, if they chase the bag, that's where the recruits will go.
Yeah,
And
I
as
agree.
long as those guys step their game up and develop the kids, that's the thing that's missing: development. You gotta
Mhm.
develop them. You can't have I, how do you say this? Like you basically can't have instant coffee, if you follow me. You got to go plant the tree and then make it, or plant the bean and make the coffee tree, or the coffee bean or whatever, and then you reap it that way. You just can't have instant coffee in your cup, which we did have with Rambo, because that was instant coffee in our cup. He was ready.
Oh yeah,
We have
exactly.
to develop them that way.
Yeah, I agree. I really agree. We got to develop them, and like you say, we got to keep them there, because if we don't keep these guys there, they're going to go and seek opportunities somewhere else, and and we can't get so far ahead. We're like, okay, well, there go, we get somebody else. It's not going to be always that easy, replacing these guys. So developing them, giving them opportunity to get on the field, especially when we knocking. If we blowing out a team and take them off the field and let other guys come in and get reps and play and say, hey, okay, we getting some opportunities to shine. Because guess what? They're gonna be the same guys you're gonna need when you play in a North Carolina, you play in a Clemson, a NC State, and you go and like one guy that works for me, he a Clemson fan, and he every time they sign somebody, he's like, oh, we got another one. I'm like, okay, we got another one too. I'm like, what are you talking about? I said, your quarterback is just I said the only thing difference between you, Clemson, and us, y'all had continuity with y'all coach, but y'all still got a first year quarterback. Y'all got to build around. So that I said that's the difference. I said don't. But he said that he's told me he think Clemson is going to fall off after this year though. He said he really thinks Clemson gonna fall. I said, well, hey, now I got the question. I finally got the question in my head.
Let's go, bro.
So now college football is all about realignment. And how do you feel? Because I know that Miami is not going to go in the SEC because Florida don't want them over there because Florida's scared of the recruiting. So I already know that. But I know for a fact that since now that Miami has become an AAU, and that's one of the most critical, important aspects of your university, I do see them in the future. I don't know when because that grant of rights contract is some BS. I would, whatever. I would have rather Miami stayed in the Big East where you used to be, whatever it used to be back then, the AAC. Do you feel Miami will end up in the Big Ten?
I gotta be honest, it's a real big push that way. But what you have to remember, my brother, is the SEC will always throw you a curveball.
Mm-hmm.
The SEC is money oriented, and Miami is a brand. You do not let a big brand go up for auction without placing your bid, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah,
so
I know.
The thing is like, you mean to tell me with all these accolades that Miami got, because like for years we have been a academic school, academia plus.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is like, yeah, we've had success on the basketball court, the baseball diamonds, and the football field. And maybe soccer and lacrosse. I don't know because I don't follow those as much.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you mean to tell me you're going to let a brand like Miami go up as the SEC, the big dog, and not be it? No, bro. I do see it happening, but I see the only way that happens, that Miami goes to the Big 12, is the Big 12 outbids them.
Yeah.
But my only concern about that is Miami is not built for cold weather.
Yeah, that's the only thing. That's the only concern of mine. And I think because Miami and Notre Dame has this rival, and they have a rival with Penn State, I could see them going into that area like that. So me. Now, I don't think that Greg Shanky, the commissioner for the SEC, I don't think, regardless of what Florida wants, if the SEC wants Miami in there because they want to keep all the Southern recruiting in that area with the Florida State, Florida State, Miami, and Florida State, then there ain't nothing Florida State can do. They just gonna have to get their hustle on. You know what I'm saying? Because Miami and Florida State gonna come in there and they gonna garner so much attention. You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't see Florida talking about leaving because they getting too much money. But the names that has been constantly been joined to the SEC is Florida State, Clemson, and North Carolina. But I also heard that the Big Ten, they would look at Miami. I think they would look at North Carolina also because of the basketball situation. And I think it was like some other teams. So that was one of the main questions that I wanted to throw out there is about how you feel about Miami going. I think Miami will fit the Big 12. easy. With all of them teams down there, with UCF down there, and they recruit, and Miami recruits well in the Texas and Oklahoma area, so they do recruit good. So the Big 12 can easily say, well, hey, you come over here with us. We have a foot in the South, and then Miami could recruit from the South and the Midwest easily. So that, I mean, that'll be something to look at too. So I think that the Big 12 is sneaky. It's kind of like sneaky up there between the Big Ten and the SEC. So it's going to be remain to be seen in the next few years to see what happens.
Well, the thing is, and just before I get off of this topic, between the Big 12 and the Big 10, if you look at it honestly, the Big Ten has more to gain. They have deeper pockets because if you bring Miami to Ohio State, we already know. And look, God forgive us because we're going to be us. We're going to fight when we go to the U, the horseshoe, because you cheated us out of a championship. We're going to fight. We don't care what the end of the score is. We don't care. And we just got to get that out of our system. So it's like you just beat the fans up in a parking lot on Friday, let them get it out of their system, play the game Saturday, it's over with. Now, with that being said, of course, with Penn State, that's a rivalry because we shouldn't have lost that national championship. We basically threw that away. And at the same time, it's like there are other teams that we are rivals with in that same conference.
Exactly.
You know, like a lot of people look at Florida State when they talk about this realignment. A lot of people look at Clemson. But what I would tell you, what is a natural born rival between Florida State and Clemson in other conferences other than the SEC?
Exactly.
Miami spans all across. Miami done went against all of them.
All of them.
I would love to have Washington on my schedule because I remember the co-championship. I remember 99. Oh, I want you bad, buddy. I want you where you cannot run and you cannot hide. And even Kansas State. Oh, you had Kelvin Klein. Yeah, I want you again, buddy. Do it again. Run it back. Of course I want those guys. But wherever Miami goes, I will, of course, support them. But I would love to see them in the same conference as an Ohio State, a Penn State.
You know, we Ohio State big time.
And a Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
I would love that.
Man, and the thing about it is, you know, to me, Miami, they could take on all of them teams. They ain't none of them teams to me seem like they're real strong. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Ohio State does, but you know, when they play out of conference, when they play like the SEC or whatever, even when they play Clemson, they still don't be that strong. So that's why I feel like Miami will have a foot in that conference, or you know what I'm saying. So, and then you know UFC gonna be over there, UCLA gonna be over there.
Exactly.
Maybe Oregon might be joining them. Notre Dame gonna be over there. I mean, that conference would be that conference to me would be better than the SEC. I hate to say it. SEC might be the cream of the crop, but man, I will be. You talk about I'll be repping Big Ten for real with the U. Shoot.
Well, I totally agree with you on that because, like, where I grew up in Georgia, you know, you had to go through it in high school. You know, you had to have a North Georgia champion and a South Georgia champion. If the SEC took Oklahoma and Texas, and let's just say, for example, and I'll make this quick, the Big Ten takes Miami, and let's just say, for the sake of argument, they take Florida State, and North Carolina goes to the SEC, and maybe let's just say they don't have a team from Virginia in the SEC. Say they take a Virginia team, whether it be a Virginia Tech or West Virginia, you know, whatever they do, okay? Let's just say that this will be just like Georgia, but it will be the North and the South championship, and they always gonna meet. Yep. They will always meet. USC coming out, UCLA coming out. I do still say like the cold weather, but give them a couple of years to adjust to it. But the coaching philosophies will not change. So those guys will be a problem because Mario showed you that when he went to the horseshoe and handed Ohio State a loss.
Exactly.
Like I said, man, I would love to see it. And to me, this would be the perfect example of parity.
Yeah.
That way we can see these matchups we want to see. It's like we know Miami gonna bring that speed. We know these big dudes bringing these powers. Like like Wisconsin, that's a power football team.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
let's see if Miami can hold up against those offensive linemen, those defensive linemen. Can they stop the run? Can they get pressure on the quarterback? It would be
Yeah.
awesome to see. And just to your point, and I'm gonna end this real quick. Clemson fell off 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. And I honestly, I might be getting ahead of myself, but I think the Clemson Miami game this year, I think it's going to be closer than people think it is. I think people are going to really, because I know Miami is going to come out. They're going to be salty of that Texas A&M game. They're definitely going to be salty of that the Florida State game. And I say, I think if we play Clemson way better than we played them in years, and if it be any remotely close, I feel Miami's closing that gap, and it's just going to be. I give Miami another year or two to completely close that gap on Clemson, to where you start to see different structures. Because if Clemson fall off, there ain't no way I can see them going to the SEC. I can't see them because Dabble gonna be his motto he already be complaining about him and Nick Saban. They're the most complainingest coaches in college football to me. Just go out there and win. Do what you do. You can't stay on top forever. So you got a lot of teams coming. So before we get off here, this season too. I know this is a slow season, so I definitely want you back with me through this season again, like we did
No doubt.
last year and everything. I'm having I'll probably give you a call tomorrow evening and see what and everything. But I have my Facebook hacked, so it's hard for me to get my new Facebook linked up to my StreamYard now. So I'm having trouble with that. So on my stream, but I'm gonna just share everything. I share everything on the page and everything like that. And I'll give JK's this link, the YouTube link, and she could just share it on her page also. And then anybody could play it back. So I just ain't had a chance to get it. So I'm still trying to knock out some kinks. But hey, the season don't stop. One monkey don't stop the show. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So yeah, but so we're not gonna talk about records and stuff. We did touch on it a little bit, but I did watch Alex Donald today. He was on vacation, so he wasn't putting out nothing. But he was talking about how some of Miami lost a couple of recruits, to Ohio State, But I say the thing about it is that Ohio State gonna have to step up their recruitment, because now that UCLA and USC is coming over there next year, it's gonna be really hard for them to really, out recruit them, because that's going, especially, you don't have Caleb Williams won't be there this year. He'd be gone. So what quarterback transfer over there, you never know. So it's going to be a great opportunity for USC to make they stand in that conference. So that's what I think. Well, let's say you got anything you want to close out with, bro?
Yeah, I just want to close out with this real quick, man. You made some excellent points about the conference realignments, and everything. And like I said, I just really look for Miami to be that one pistol that you don't want to have, because it doesn't have a safety and it's always loaded. No matter where you send them or where they go, I think that once the coaches are put in place and we get a philosophy and we get this old school, we're going to punch you in the mouth. And when you tear up, we're going to hit you even harder. And the thing is, it's not just us, it's other teams that are looking to do the same. Your USCs, Oklahoma and Texas are going to have to do it in the SEC. So we're going to see who the real men are. And basically, it's just like, even if Miami stays in the ACC, I just feel like with the culture change and what we're about to develop, we are going to be a school that everybody looks at and says, wow, you know, I got a letter from Miami. And I think moving forward, that's what's going to take us to the upper echelon, because when they extend the playoffs, it's no way you will want to face a 9-3 Miami, a 10-2 Miami, or 11-1 Miami.
Exactly. So you hear it first. Miami is coming. We coming. So this 2023 season is about to be exciting. I can't wait to see what we do from here on out. But this is episode 1 of season 2 of Kings on the Daily. We are reshifting the days. It used to be on Tuesdays last season. Now it's going to be on Wednesdays. So you can find myself, LiveWire Sports Entertainment, and my man Donnie on the set. We're going to always break down these games, break down the recruiting, and give you the best of Miami Hurricane knowledge. Until then, y'all bless. Have a good night.
Peace.
Let's give it up to the youth. Go to the squad if we win or we lose. It is in our veins, that orange and the green running through and through. Cause you know we want it. These squad versus ours, now they don't really want it. Our pedigrees deep with frozen abundance. Get ready for the storm cause the hurricane's coming. Let's give it up to the youth. Go to the squad if we win or we lose. It is in our veins, that orange and the green running through and through. Cause you know we want it. These squad versus ours, now they don't really want it. Our pedigrees deep with frozen abundance. Get ready for the storm cause the hurricane's coming.